Hey everyone, aloha, welcome. Today we're going to be building a sink cabinet for a 1974 Volkswagen bus. I've decided to go real minimal and low tech with this. So I'm just keeping it simple and I'm very excited about getting this thing going. Let's take a look at the materials and what I've got planned here. This is the old sink that I salvaged out of the original Adventure Wagon build. It's a nice, small, compact stainless steel sink, well built. I've decided to reuse that. I've saved some of the hardware and I'm actually going to go with, instead of a 12-volt pump, I've decided to go with a foot pump just to keep things simple. So the cabinet's going to go right here. I've taken my measurements. It's about 18 by 18. I'm going to go 20 inches high, which is about to there. And I've already got my stub out for my gray water tank, which is underneath the bus itself. That was an original feature on the Adventure Wagon conversion that was installed on this bus in 1974. So there's the base. I'm going to use this here, this 5-gallon or 6-gallon rather jug for my fresh water, and I've made the base, I've made the top here, and then it's just a matter of my legs that are gonna go here, and I've also got to decide what I'm gonna how my door is gonna look, what the sink or the countertop's going to look like, but I'm just kind of going building this as I go. I've started by basically building a cube. I've used this is 2x2 kiln dried fir. I decided to use kiln dried because it was real lightweight. It won't twist because it's already, as it dries, because it's already dried out. And I'm liking the size. I think everything's going to fit in here. This is one little detail where I'm a little kind of hesitant. There's only about an inch in between this armrest and here, so I'm going to have to be mindful of what thickness side I put on the cabinet. My little cabinet is taking place here. It's pretty lightweight, actually. I've only put a little bit of extra bracing. This on the back where I'm going to attach it to the back wall. I put a little piece of plywood on the bottom down here for some trim. This is going to stay open because you're not going to be able to see that, and that's going against that wall there. The back's going to stay open because you're not going to see that. I'm just kind of thinking about weight and keeping things as light as possible. Let's make sure this still fits in here. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think I'll have the door open obviously on this side so I can access it, yeah. And I've decided to go with 1/2-inch ply on the outside to kind of match this cabinet that I did. I am making some progress on this box, on this cabinet. I decided to go with a 1/4-inch faceplate on here, and on the side this is 1/4-inch as well. I was going to go with 1/2-inch, but the 1/4-inch that I could find at the hardware store actually had a much nicer grain pattern on it than the 1/2-inch, and it's not really supporting anything. It's just for shear. This side's not going to get anything because it goes against the back of the seat rest. You won't be able to see it. And same with the back. I just want to kind of cut down on the weight as much as possible. And the thing is pretty lightweight. I'm very excited about it. I scored some pretty nice walnut that I'm going to use for my countertop. And I've even cut out for my sink. So I'm getting ready to glue and screw this thing on. Just wanted to check it for fit. I'm going to have overhang on the front, overhang on the side. But this is going to be flush. That's going to be flush with the back. And then always check for fit. Make sure your sink fits. I'll drill some holes for the faucet there. Anyways, I am making some decent progress. I've got the first coat of varnish on. This is obviously the front of the cabinet. Top, I really like the way that walnut came out. And then the exposed side. And then here is the door. I actually cut that out of the same as the top, so that'll kind of have a nice contrast and match tie-in. And this is the product I'm using, Helmsman Spar Urethane Varnish Indoor Outdoor. So it's good stuff. I've got 3 coats of that heavy-duty gloss varnish on here, and it is time to start putting this thing together. Here is the sink that I saved out of the original build, cleaned it up, and this thing's going to work really well. What I did was I took some of this plumber's putty and went around the underside of the lip, so that'll create a nice watertight seal. So I'm just going to center this, make sure it's exactly where I want it on here, and then just start pressing down firmly. When I get it into the right position, I want to make sure it's square, because there is a little bit of wiggle room in here, so I just want to make sure this is in the right spot before I get this into position. And it has some pretty cool fasteners on the underside. I'll get a shot of that so you can see what that looks like, how this thing attaches to the underside of the countertop. Here's the mechanism underneath. There's a kind of a lip that you can attach this to on the sink itself. And then you get it into position and you just tighten it up with a screwdriver, and nice and slow. Then do the other side, come back, hit this side again, and then you are good to go. I'm getting ready to bring the sink cabinet out, but I just wanted to kind of go over an idea that I'm going to try out here. Originally, this sink cabinet had a vent pipe which exited out through that hole right there and then out through the roof. I'm going to try one of these. This is like a one-way vent that I'm going to install right here, and then my drain waste from the sink is going to come down right here. The idea is that this can pull air in to basically alleviate any vacuum that might happen as the water's going down. Here is the current state of my sink cabinet. Got the faucet installed. I'm gonna, before I start using this thing, just run a little bead of silicone caulk here. Got the sink in, tightened up. And I was able to take this 1/2 inch tubing and slip it over the copper piece that comes down. I had to warm this up in some hot water just to get it to fit over that. But this is kind of ready to go. Drilled a hole in here, and hopefully I can get both of these 1/2 inch tubes through there. But I am ready to fit this into place now. All right, progress is slow but sure. I had to just start all over again with all this P-trap nonsense and a new drain here. The old stuff was just, it wasn't working. It kept leaking. I would suggest, if you're retrofitting, just go ahead and start with all new materials. This whole setup was probably less than $10, but many trips back and forth to the hardware store trying to get the old stuff to work. I should have just started new. Anyways, leak test, got a little bit of water down in there, and no water in my bowl. And if I pull this out, I can hear it draining appropriately. It's not getting clogged up in there or anything. No drips that I can see. So this is like the 3rd or 4th time I've done this. But you know, it seems to be working well now. Now I gotta. Here is the completed product. I had to make a couple of minor changes as I went, but here's the Whale foot pump, and I'm really happy with the quality of this. It was a bit more expensive than some of the other ones, but I think it seems to be pretty high quality, and I think it'll last forever. So I've got my 1/2-inch tubing running underneath. Just cut a nice little hole for both those to go in, and here's the major change. I couldn't use the 5-gallon tank that I originally purchased for this because of the P-trap made it really difficult for the thing to fit in. So I found this, it's a bit shorter, the capacity is a little bit less, it's a 4-gallon, but lots of good things about this. For one thing, the area that I'm going to be filling it, nice and big. You can fit your hand in there to clean the thing out when needed. I like the additional cap in the back. I just drilled a hole. I think it's a 3/4 inch hole for that 1/2-inch pipe. It's 1/2 inch inside diameter, so that's the discrepancy in the size there. But it ended up working out pretty well. And then of course that goes up to the faucet, which I'll just kind of model how this thing works. So you stand in front of this, left foot is operating this, and I'm really happy with the function. Basically, this is just going to be for washing hands, brushing teeth, stuff like that. Doing the dishes, I'll probably set up outside, and anything major I'll be setting up outside, but this is totally sufficient. I'm really happy with the way this came out. I'll put a link to the foot pump and for the water container. I'll put a link for that in the comment section below. All right, so that's it for today's video. I really hope that was helpful for you as you go to build your sink for your camper. Please leave some comments down below, or if you have any ideas or suggestions, I love to hear those. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it, and hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Aloha, mahalo for watching. See you next time.